Hello guys, today's topic is a very serious topic because of the deception and lies that have been told and practiced all over the world. We live in a world system that is very corrupt. We live in a system that is against the laws and principles of God. It's a system that loves to corrupt good and make evil become the norm of the day. God's principles for godly relationship has not changed. No matter the age or the generation, it hasn't changed. His word principles abides forever. God has principles for dating and courtship. The same principles on holiness and righteousness when a person is single is the same that should be applied when a person is dating or courting. Let us make something clear right now. Just because you are dating someone doesn't mean that you are married to them. Even if they promised you marriage, as long as you have not legally joined yourself to that man or woman, then you are not married. So therefore, the boundaries of sex before marriage must be practiced and maintained. God did not say that sex is for people who are in love or sex is for people who are about to get married. No, sex is for two people who are legally married. Sex is not for your boyfriend or for your girlfriend or for your wife to be or your husband to be. It is only meant for the one you are legally married to. Don't give your body away to a person just because you think he will marry you or she will marry you. This is one of the reasons why many people end up having heartbreaks or they end up having a broken home. A person that will not be willing to obey godly principles of no sex before marriage will most likely not be willing to obey godly principles of faithfulness to your partner. I know a true story of a person who had sex with a guy. Before they had any sexual relations, this boy promised her everything. He promised her marriage, he promised her good life, he promised her every good thing you can think about. She told him that she was a Christian and that she believed in having no sexual relationships until after marriage. The guy agreed to stay with her, but he was still persuasive about having sex with her. He told her that since they were going to get married, that there would be no difference if they had the sex now or later. Somehow, he had his way with her. She gave in to his pressure. They began having sexual relationships. After a while, she noticed that the guy started acting funny. He started being less concerned about her. His attitude towards her changed. He did not love her anymore the same way he used to love and care for her, although the lady grew more and more attached to him after the sex. She couldn't even let go of him. The relationship became very abusive and the story continues. My point is, this may not be your situation, but the message is very clear. Avoid sex before marriage. We live in a time where it's normal for people to be in relationship and do the same thing, which is sex, that is done in marriage. If a person says he loves you or she loves you and they can't wait for marriage before having sex with you, you need to run away from that relationship. The Bible tells us that love is very patient. Lust is always in a haste. If your partner cannot control themselves, then they need to seek help. If they can't control themselves before marriage, how are you sure that they will even control themselves in marriage when you are on a business trip or you are pregnant? Just because you are dating someone doesn't mean you have to sleep with them. It doesn't mean that you should sleep with them. It doesn't mean that you should get intimate with them. If you cannot genuinely love a person without getting intimate with them, then you have lust for them and not love. We must examine what we have for our partners. Is it true love that is patient, or we have lust? Do we really love our partner? Love is not sex. True love is commitment and sacrifice to the one you truly love. Just because you are dating a person doesn't mean that you should have sex with them or anything sexual with them. Dating a person doesn't equal giving them your body. You should give them your heart and your love, but you must withhold your body until after the marriage. If you have a thought that if you refuse a person from sleeping with you, maybe they may not love you or they may leave you, let me tell you the truth, right? If you stop having sex with them and their attitude changes towards you, then they never really loved you. They only loved the idea of having a person whom they can satisfy their lust with. Many people have injured their heart and broken their heart because they were trying to keep a relationship. They have sex with a person and now they feel like a part of them have been torn apart. They feel like they were abused and used, deceived and manipulated. God is a merciful God. God is bringing His word today to you listening to me. He doesn't want you to make the same mistake. Sex before marriage can destroy you. It will open the doors to spirit that can make things difficult for you and your future home. 1 Corinthians chapter 6 verse 18, the Bible tells us, flee fornication. This is God's warning to you. Listen to me. Run away from fornication. The God whom you love, the wisest person in heaven and on earth, is saying that you should avoid sex before marriage. If both of you are already having sexual affair before marriage, you are building on a wrong foundation. You are setting yourself up for the devil to plant wrong seeds into your future home. Any wise person that wants to build something strong knows that most important thing is the foundation. If you have a good foundation, then your building will most likely stand strong for years. It is a wrong foundation to be in a relationship that is not marriage and be sleeping with the person you say you love. Our true commitment as Christians should first be to God before any person. We shouldn't put any person, including ourselves, before God. If we say that we have given our hearts and lives to our Lord Jesus Christ, then we must submit to His instructions. By submitting to our Lord Jesus Christ, you are building your future family on the right foundation. 1 Corinthians chapter 3 verse 11 tells us, for no man can lay a foundation other than the one which was laid, which is Jesus Christ. When you build on Jesus Christ the truth, you have nothing, absolutely nothing to fear. You will not be destroyed by the winds of life. If both of you have your commitment to God, if you have decided that Christ is your foundation, then you can be sure of a glorious home. When you start out on a sincere relationship, one of the first things you must talk about is no sex before marriage. You have to be as clear and open as possible. Don't assume that the person already knows just because they come to your church. Don't assume that nothing will happen. You must openly set clear boundaries to help both of you stay in line. Don't allow the devil to sow wrong seeds into your relationships. Even if you have been on the wrong path, it's never too late to correct your wrong.